Hello, welcome back to How to RPG, and hello everybody. Today is one of those days where we make an adventure, and before you see Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, which is full of monsters and various other things, but a lot of monsters, and the Game Master's book of Random Encounters, which I think is a very good book, lots of different locations you can use in your adventures if you are inclined to do so. So welcome everybody. I am just going to put up a poll and give you an opportunity to respond. How's it going, Turbo Wolf? Welcome. And Prepare, Cook and Survive, hello, how are you? So we're going to go through if you've done this before with me, you know that I have a presentation that I will give first. I'll try to be very quick, and then we'll go into actually creating an adventure. And you, the audience, will help me do that, because that's how we normally do this here, which means it's going to be absolutely bat crazy, and we'll have to try and get it done in the space of time we have. But that's beside the point. We're still going to do it. So grab some food, some drink. Make sure you are comfortable, and let's go for a ride, shall we? Let's get this done. Okay, I think I've got it all. Yes, there we go. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about role-playing games. And this is all about not so much giant robots and zombie plagues and all the rest. No, it's more about game master preparation. This is where we actually do some preparation for your games. This is intended to be lesson 1, adventure building. Would you believe it? We've rolled round. It's been a little while we've got here. The overview for today is I'm going to go over the types of adventures you can make, the types of quests that you can give out to your players who are playing a character in the game, and then basic adventure building, okay? And then I'll give you some miscellaneous recommendations like I always do. The objectives is to explain how to build an adventure for a role-playing game and do it in a simple way, demonstrate how to build an adventure role-playing game. Okay, so not just explain it, but demonstrate, and we'll actually have a practice. We'll actually practice this process together. I want to thank the sponsor for this live stream. This is World Anvil. You'll find all the information on World Anvil down in the description. And the thing with World Anvil, I don't often see any kind of support which would support a live stream. Usually they want an edited video, and they have been kind enough to do so. World Anvil is where you can store all of your stuff online rather than on pieces of paper or in a folder. You can put your monsters, your NPCs, your adventures, your magic items, any spells you make, classes, races, anything you can imagine, you can store on the web, on their web page, okay, and make yourself an account if you're interested. So thank you to World Anvil. Right, let's get straight into it, shall we? Types of adventures. What does that mean? Well, there's a couple of different types that you'll probably be familiar with, or at least have some knowledge of based on your previous experience. Even if you haven't made your own adventures, you will have come across these before. So there's the sandbox, which is also called the hex crawl adventure. It is where characters start in a set location but can venture out to any new place they would like to explore. So they can go north, south, east, west, or anything in between. They can go anywhere they like. They require you to do quite a lot more work as a game master than normal, but they are a fun game and they give you a lot of choice. So not only does the game master get a lot of choice, but so do the players playing the character. Then you have the linear adventure. This is where the characters start at a beginning point and they follow a set path to its conclusion, usually a climax in the story or the plot line. They are usually heavily plotline focused, and there isn't really a lot of movement to jump off or move and do something else. The good thing about them, though, is they're easy to construct, but they can feel a little railroady at times, so there isn't a lot of choice involved. Or if there is choice, it's the illusion of choice. The next one is the point crawl adventure. It is built from a meaningful location. So you have a series of locations that are meaningful for your adventure, whatever it is, and they're connected by a multi-in-world pathway. So they have branches like a tree. And you might have one branch, you might have 2 branches, then 3 branches, or maybe even 4 branches. And each time you go from one location to the next, it branches off. And there's a couple of different ways you can go. It's not quite as good in terms of choice as a sandbox, but it's a little bit easier to manage, and it doesn't give you that sort of railroad effect when you're dealing with a linear adventure. Okay, all right. Now, you can also have a combination of all of these basic types, the sandbox, the linear, and the point crawl. And that is obviously a good way to approach it. It's sometimes a little bit hard to set up, but often it actually makes more sense to do it this way when you transition from one area or one part of the adventure to the next, is to actually use the linear or point crawl, or have a sandbox in a particular place so you can explore a little bit. Okay, so Wizards of the Coast does this a lot, and that is to have a linear adventure, which is basically a straight line from point A to point where it was Z, and you jump off at each train station and you explore that little area there, then you jump back on the train and go down the track a bit further to the next train station. Okay, and that's how you play your adventure out. A lot of modern adventures work this way. You'll find that if you're looking at older Dungeons and Dragons or role-playing game adventures, they tend to be a sandbox where there isn't a linear focus. They are more like a location with a set goal, and we're going to talk more about them very shortly. Okay, now to break it up into location and event-based adventures, because that's the difference between location and event-based. So location-based adventures don't have a set plot or events that take place in a particular order. That's actually not important. The location-based adventure is where the environment has a villain or a potential conflict the player characters can interact with. So what it means is when you get a location-based adventure, there's usually only one set goal. That's it. And the only thing you need to worry about is achieving that set goal, whatever it might be. It is normal practice to have a single overall goal for a location-based adventure. And if you had a location-based adventure and there was not one single overall goal, then it's probably a place and not a location adventure. You've just got a location, not an adventure itself. Okay, the next one is the event-based adventure. Often set out in a flowchart with branching options from a starting point. The event-based adventure it's got a very strong underlying plot with additional subplots. Not always, but there's usually some sort of subplot going on as well. Time frames are important to map out for the various events that will occur. Time frames on an event-based adventure are vital. You still have time passing on a location-based adventure, but it becomes even more important with event-based adventures. So that's sort of the difference. And what you'll find is in this program, I focus you on building a location-based adventure, not event-based adventures. Okay? Location because it's easier to do. It is more likely to transition well amongst a large audience, and it is not prone to disintegrating on you. So they're much more hardy. A location-based adventure can survive player choice, whereas event-based adventures often cannot survive player choice. And of course, players can go pretty much anywhere they like. Right, now that we've covered that one, let's go into the types of quests that you can send your players on. Well, the first one I want to talk about is the fetch quest. This is when the characters have to get something from another location that is potentially a long distance away. It's not always, but often it is. It's the fetch quest. It's almost like playing throw the stick or playing ball or throw with a dog, but it's not. Your players aren't dogs, obviously. So a good example of a fetch quest is Avengers Endgame, that movie, where the main characters, all the heroes, need to collect up the Infinity Stones, okay, to reverse the snap, and then they need to put all those stones into the gauntlet. It's a fetch quest, right? Then you have the delivery quest. This is when the characters are in possession of an object, a person, or a piece of information, and they must deliver it to a specific location. A good example of a delivery quest is Lord of the Rings, where you have Frodo having to take the one ring to Mount Doom, throw it into the Mount Doom, and destroy it. So it is a delivery quest. You are delivering it from one place to another. It does have another element to it, but I'll talk about that shortly. You have the protection quest. This is where the characters escort a character or people safely to a second location. Potentially, it may not be, but it could be. Or they protect that person or people. It might even be an object they're protecting at a set location, and it might be their current location. So a good example of this would be The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner, where Kevin Costner has to protect Whitney Houston, who's the superstar, from being killed by an assassin. Then there's the other one that I'm going to describe, which is more around protecting a group of individuals, and that is the Seven Samurai. Now, the old Seven Samurai is based off the Magnificent Seven, which is an old Western. It has been remade recently, and this is where you have 7 samurai who protect a village from bandits. And so that's their task, is to protect the villages from the bandits. So that is a protection quest. The next one is the destroy quest or the kill quest. Either way, it kind of looks like this. It requires the characters go on a monster hunt. So you hunt down maybe a monster, vanquish a main villain, or break an object of some kind. And the best example of destroy quests and kill quests is, frankly, Star Wars. Now, my example here would be destroying the Death Star is a destruction or destroy quest. Okay, you're destroying an object, the Death Star, or you are going to have to go and kill the Emperor, the evil Emperor, or you have to vanquish the main villain, Darth Vader, something like that. That's your Star Wars, and they tend to be kill quests and destroy quests. Investigation quests. They get a character to find new information to investigate a mystery. They might also be solving a crime, or solving a problem of some kind. Now, the best example of investigation quests has to be Sherlock Holmes, where Dr. Watson and Sherlock will go off. They will find clues to solve a crime, maybe a murder or something a bit more ridiculous. Who knows what? It could be all sorts of things. You have your negotiation quest next. This requires a character to deceive or persuade someone. That involves some sort of diplomacy, subterfuge, or perhaps trade. So when it comes to negotiation quests, really, I think the best example here is Star Trek. Star Trek is where the crew of the Enterprise, they wind up negotiating with aliens all the time, often to ensure that their own ship doesn't get destroyed in themselves, and solving problems that way. Through communication, where there's usually a breakdown of communication, and you have to actually deal with that and find some way to rectify that communication problem. There's also the Avatar movies made by James Cameron, and this is where you have the Na'vi with the humans and their clash and their interactions, and there's negotiation initially followed by war. So this is a good example of how not to do it. Okay, next, the survival quest. This forces characters into a dangerous situation that they have to get out of. Okay, it might be a natural disaster, being hunted, an army on a warpath, or they're in a prison. Now, the best examples of a survival quest where the characters are forced to survive the situation is Alien, the original Alien movie, where the crew go on board a ship and they discover there's eggs and there's an alien that it's growing as somebody, and then it goes through and massacres the crew. So the idea is Ripley and the rest of the crew are trying to survive the alien encounter. The next one is the Terminator movie. A really good example of this is Sarah Connor, who is being hunted down by a cyborg from the future and needs to stay alive because she's going to give birth to the leader of the future men, or of mankind, or humankind, or whatever the heck it is. So that's a really good example where they have to try to stay alive, keep out of reach of the Terminator, which is played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. So that's your survival quest. And then lastly, number 8 is the attainment quest. You have the characters seek a treasure like an object or a person, but this can also be political power. It could be a position, an important position, a bit of land or a castle or something like that. An attainment quest where they try to attain something. The best example of this that I can think of is Moana. Moana has to go on this journey, and part of that journey is to seek out a green stone that needs to be placed back in a particular place. Okay, she has to attain that stone, otherwise the sea will go black and everything will die. Another good example is Finding Nemo, where the parent fish has to go and find the baby fish, Nemo, who's gotten lost in the big ocean. And so you go through that journey of attaining that particular individual, the little fish. So attainment. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different types of quests that you can give to your players. Right, let's have a look at the basic adventure building process. What does it look like? I'm going to keep it really simple, and if you think this is too simple for you, that's fine. But I've made it simple because it works. I find the best approach to making your own adventure, and this is not for publication, although you could try to do it something like this. Publication works differently. This video is not, or live stream is not designed for somebody who's trying to publish. You need to go and see an expert in that field. The best approach to making your own adventure, I have used and presented in the past Chris Perkins' methodology, which Chris Perkins uses this as his way of developing an adventure note, and that is a single page of A4 paper. That's it. He has 7 headings with bullet points beside them. Okay. Your first one is your adventure title or designation to differentiate it from the session notes that you might have made for something else. So an adventure title or a designation to differentiate it from the other session notes. That's just the top of the page. The important stuff next is your adventure hook. Now that might be what your players are trying to do, which is the goal, or it might be they have already started an adventure and you're doing the adventure recap. This could also be the adventure recap. It will be between 3 and 4 sentences with the key information that you need. Adventure goals you can find if you have the Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Ed Edition on page 52 to 53. Has a selection of adventure goals that you could use. There's also the Dungeon Master Guide for Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and if you refer to page 72 to 81, you'll find a bunch of ideas there. Okay. Then, list of player character names. Now, why would we do this? I'll explain in a second. What do you need to note down? You're not using filler words. You're just going to be not doing this in note form, because each player character gets 1 sentence. That's it. So you're going to write down their class, their character name, important, do that. Their race, maybe their flaw, and their goal. Okay? Their goal will hopefully be exactly the same goal as everybody else in your party, but from a different angle. That's the only thing you need to consider. Okay, those are the key things. But name, class, race, flaw, goal. Often the sorts of things you put into your sentence. Okay, this sort of reminds the Game Master who the important characters are in the adventure. You don't forget that you still need to make sure you're building your adventure for a group of individuals, rather than building it for something that is involving maybe focusing on one character. There's more than one character. This is a joint game, right? So you've got to have everybody involved. It also means that when you need to remember to get somebody to take their turn, you can call them by their character name rather than their real name, just to keep everything flowing nicely. Okay, create some adventure locations. I would say about 5 in total. I would suggest a town, city, or a tavern as one of those 5 locations that you want to put down. It doesn't have to be them, but I would suggest those are probably good ways to go, is one of those. This is your starting point, your town, city, or tavern, usually. What you need for your location. So what do you write down? Well, you need the name of the location. Basic description. That's it. Name and basic description, nothing more. You'll find that the dungeon, planar, urban, water, wilderness toolboxes that you can find on the Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Ed Edition has a great selection of ideas here for different locations. And if you refer to page 178 to 227, huge amount of information on different locations that you can borrow from. You can also find dungeon locations in the Dungeon Master Guide for D&D 5e, and if you refer to pages 99, 101, 113 to 114, and 292 to 301, you'll find most of the different things that you'll need for building locations for your adventures if you're playing 5e. Try using pre-made maps. That would be my suggestion to you, wherever possible for your locations. And real historic locations you can use as inspiration too. So when you're creating your adventure is going to have a written element to it. But there's probably going to be at least one other separate page, and that'll be your map. This will help you itemize the different locations in some way, and then place them in relation to each other, so that you know how they're going to get from one place to another out of the supposed 5 locations you have. Make a list of 5 non-player characters. You're going to be writing down their name, their appearance, their personality, and motivation. And you do this in note form. You do not use filler words, okay? It may be as little as just a single word, and that's it. The different types of non-player characters that will be useful or you might need to use in your adventure are the following. You need to have, quite often, a villain. Next would be your patron or quest giver. Okay, whether you call it a patron or quest giver, it's up to you. If there is a victim involved, you'll have a victim. If you need somebody to help them along, okay, and give them extra clues, then you'll have a helper. And if they have, you don't need a helper, but you need you might want to use a mentor. This is basically a character or non-player character that will show up multiple times who acts like the helper to assist them when they get stuck. So you're using the helper and the mentor as a way of providing them with clues. And the rest of your cast or non-player characters, they're extras for filling in wherever you need to. The Game Master's Book of Non-Player Characters is probably one of the best resources I've seen out there by Jeff Ashworth. I've done a review on the book. Go check that out. The Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder 1st Edition. If you refer to page 78 to 99, you'll find a lot of information on how to sort of build out your own non-player characters. And then I often use the backgrounds in the Player's Handbook for D&D 5e. If you refer to page 172 to 141, I find it really useful. I can just use the backgrounds that are used by the player characters to build my NPCs. You roll a dice or you select what you like, and in a very short space of time you have built your NPC. I already do a program that goes over this, so keep an eye out for that. I've done that a few times already. Create your non-player characters from the Dungeon Master Guide. You can, if you want to, for D&D 5e. Refer to page 89 to 91. There's a little bit of information there that will allow you to get things done. And then there is the villains and goals in the Dungeon Master Guide for 5e, and that's on page 94 to 95. And it's got a sort of a selection of different goals that a villain might have. Finally, I want to refer to Sly Flourish or Mike Shea and Rory's Story Cubes, where you roll a number of dice, whether it be the digital thing that you can get on your phone or the physical dice. The story cubes give you inspiration for creating ideas to build out your NPC. So it's a fun way of getting things done. And then the next thing you want to have is create some different encounters. About 6, I would say, is suitable for a session, depending on how long your game session is. But I would say create 6 different encounters. Don't bother with making up any random encounters. Random encounters you can deal with. Okay, if all you're going to do is combat random encounters, you can just draw that from a monster book pretty quickly. You don't need to be writing that information down in here. Focus the encounters on either combat encounters, where it's appropriate, social interaction, so you'll probably want a bit of a mix of all of this. Social interaction is when you're communicating and talking with another character, or a non-player character, should I say. Exploration, so exploring a location, maybe they've got to find something in a set environment. Dealing with traps, so include your traps, your puzzles, and any skill challenges or adventure challenges you may have developed. These are all the things that make up your encounters. When I say encounters, I don't just mean combat encounters. I mean the whole broad range that is available to you. The Game Master's Book of Random Encounters is an excellent tool for doing this. It basically has numerous locations and a lot of advice on what you can do with that location as well. So maps, details, information. Wally DM's Journal of Puzzle Encounters is an excellent book for actually giving you inspiration and ideas around developing puzzles for your encounters that you're going to run in your adventure. And I can't recommend Wally's book more than I have in the past. I have reviewed the book as well. I've reviewed almost all of these books, by the way. The Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Edition has a range of tools for building out encounters, and then you'll find a few scattered traps in the Dungeon Master Guide for D&D 5e, and refer to page 120 to 123. You'll find most Game Master books or Dungeon Master books should have advice on various types of challenges, puzzles, skill challenges, traps, exploration, social interaction. There should be advice on how to build all that for you, for your games and your adventures. Okay, lastly, set rewards for the completion of your adventure, such as character advancement. Are they going to be going up a level if there are levels involved? Are they going to be getting magic items, political power, treasure of some kind, money, or maybe they just have, the benefit and the reward is a non-player character relationship, which will expand and allow them more options later on, or just have them more connected to the entire campaign. Okay, so that's how you go about building your adventure, the very, very basics. I always want to give out some miscellaneous recommendations, and I will be doing so today. And miscellaneous recommendations: don't spend all your time on developing one concept of your adventure, people. That would be my advice. If you spend too much time on one area, you'll never get it done when you need it to get it done. So move quickly. You can always go back if you need to. Stop sweating the creative ideas in your adventure. Don't be too harsh on what you think is good and bad, because you don't know what people will like or enjoy. I've found quite often my players enjoy things that I did not put a lot of effort into, and I made up on the spur of the moment, and stuff that I didn't make up and I read from an adventure, or I got from a pre-made adventure, or something I spend many, many hours preparing, they weren't that interested in. So you just don't know what players are going to enjoy. So just put it down. You will find out whether it's going to work for you or not once you run it. That's the acid test with any adventure. You know it's good when you've run it once and it worked out. It won't work out for everybody, but if you rerun it a couple of times and it's working out for you, it's probably a good idea. You've done all right. Okay, so that is all the things I wanted to say with regard to adventure building. I'm hoping that this was useful to you, and if it was, fantastic. I want to thank all of my patrons who support me on Patreon so I can keep doing this program. And I also want to thank World Anvil, which you can find all the information down in the description, who is the sponsor for this live stream today. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. All right, give me a second. Let's get over here. I'm back. Can you see my face now? Maybe. There. All right. Hello. How are you all? How are you all doing? I can see we're going to have some fun today. All right. So let's have a look here. First thing, poll. I'll come back to the poll in a second. Prepare, cook, and survive. Hello, prepare, cook, and survive. JT and D&D, how are you doing? Plot twist card video helped me. I'm glad that the plot twist card video helped you, Jay. I can't recommend plot twist cards enough for expanding and forcing you to learn how to be a game master or a dungeon master. Plot twist cards are great. It can be very uncomfortable at times, though, using them. So don't think it will be a painless experience, because it won't be. But it certainly will improve your skills very, very quickly. Michael. Hello, Michael. Michael is a patron and supports me on Patreon. How's it doing? How are you going? I wouldn't I won't be able to stay very long, probably just a few minutes. Somebody's picking me up. Not a problem. You're probably already gone. Just wanted to say hi. Well, Michael, how's it going? Thank you for at least popping in. I do want to see the adventure that was made yesterday. All these things will be on a Patreon, right? Yes, I am. So I'm really behind on Patreon updates. The reason being is, for example, last week, I will do this quickly because we need to make an adventure, and I've only got less than an hour and a half now. So I have to deal with releasing the stuff on, I believe it is it the Cyclops? No, it's on Monster Story Lore. I've got to release the notes for that for Patreon. I've got to release the information on world building, the Game Master preparation notes for that, so so you've got all that on Patreon. I've got to also release the world. We made a world in about an hour and a half, so I have to release that document as well. I also have, is there more? I think there is. I can't remember exactly what it was. There was something else. On the top of my head, I'm sure there was something else. This week, I've got to release Harpies, because I'm talking about Harpies tomorrow. I've got this program, Adventure Building. I don't believe I've put up on Patreon yet, so I need to put that out. So I'm going to try really hard to make that all happen. It's really about how quickly I can do that. I don't know. I'm going to try really hard to get it done. But they will always be going to Patreon in a draft at some point. How's it going, Dr. Doom? How are you doing? All right, got here just the right time. Well, I'm glad you showed up at the right time. Pardon me. Michael Stan, I guess I missed the plot twist video. I'll have to go back and watch it. So, Michael, you should find all the improvising tools that I discuss is on Patreon. I uploaded that for sure. Okay, all the notes around how to do that, it's all there. If you want the video, there's more than one video on the plot twist cards and the story cubes. There's more than a few. Dungeons and Chronics, hello, how are you doing? Okay. Overboard is a patron and also a moderator, and also has a YouTube channel. It deals with miniatures and terrain and reviews. How's it going? Hi, Joe. Okay, Nacho Man, also a patron. Hello, Nacho Man. How are you doing? 10 minutes to 3 years, depends on what I'm making. 10 minutes to 3 years. Well, I could have put that into a poll. No, not really. It wouldn't have worked. Hello to be. How are you doing? Me and the boys are on the way to kill the Emperor. Exactly. We need to find the One Piece. Yeah, the One Piece something. What do you got here, Fred? You can get a pad of 1 by 10 inch square graph paper and put 3-session adventure within the map on one page. I suppose you could, yes. Derry, how are you doing? Well, I suppose you could make the reward surviving until next week. It probably is not a very great good reward, unfortunately. Now, Chalabai 13, is it Chalabai? Chalabai 13. Hello, how are you? Spirit Wolf, hello Spirit Wolf, how are you doing? You down with a stomach bug? Oh, okay. Well, sorry about the head. The stomach bug doesn't sound great. You need an assistant. Yes, I probably do need an assistant. So, for those of you who are unaware, my intention was never to have 6 live streams a week or even 5 live streams a week and to be building and making all this stuff with the audience in a live stream right now. The intention, I was going to do this when I had paid off the mortgage and I was ready to sort of semi-retire, sort of, to slow down because I'm doing too much. So that was my intention. I decided to roll it out faster because I realized that with the disaster in the world, that the possibility of me paying off the mortgage, I couldn't keep this up indefinitely. I figure I maybe got 2 years that I can keep this pace up before I wind up with some serious health issues on top of my existing health issues. So I have to get it done fast. So I thought, well, I'm just going to try to make as much money as I possibly can, as quickly as I can, and then it'll so because if I was doing this, if I was only working part-time, this would be a lot easier to make all this happen. I can't pay an assistant because I don't even have enough money to pay myself on a decent wage, or even a salary of any kind, really. Prepare, cook, survive. Hey, SW. What do you got here? Okay, you're talking to him. All right, so let's get over to the process of building a adventure, because that's why people showed up here in the first place. So let's go over to this screen. And I believe I don't need that screen anymore, but I do need this screen here, and I'll probably need to make this larger because you won't be able to see anything unless I make it a little bit bigger. And okay, so let's just give me a second, just getting the sharing of my screen prepared. And is it ready? Okay, that should be about right. Let's transition over. This is the template that we'll be using for today. Right now, it just looks like a bunch of titles, and that's it. There's nothing else really there. Okay, it's pretty simple. It's not hard. You guys can do something like this, easy peasies. So I'm very aware that we always really struggle to get this done in a timely manner. And so I'm going to do my very best to try to make sure that I give you enough work to do and transition over from each thing as quickly as I possibly can. Okay? Okay, all right. Let us go into this. So first off, you can see here, this is my adventure structure template, which is basically adventure title, adventure hook, or goal, or recap if you've got one, list of the player characters, list of the adventure locations, list of the non-player characters, and list of encounters. So we always wind up sort of struggling with some of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to throw. Don't start throwing a lot of ideas at me until I prompt you. Okay. Otherwise, I'll lose them in the chat. There's 18 of you here now. So hashtag give me the name and name dash class and race of a character you have played. So we're going to use your characters to fill out one of these aspects of this. Okay? I think that's probably the smartest way to go about doing this is to do it that way. So let me just get comfortable a little bit. And the designation of the adventure will happen later. We don't need to worry about that yet. The adventure goal is something we should probably do first, but like I said, I'm giving you a task to do now so that we can get the other bit done. All right, okay. So 5 characters is good enough. So once I get to 5, 2B, thank you for that. Assay. But this is where you would probably be starting anyway with your own stuff, is that you would probably be starting with your own player characters, making a list of them as your first task. Yep. And actually, I'm going to cheat. Oh, no, I won't, because it always looks really weird when I keep jumping back and forth. The whole live stream just goes wonky ass. You are a Chrono-G magic wizard. Okay. Is that a real word? That looks... Is that a Chrono-G? Chrono-G. I don't know. Oh, okay, that'll do. I got that one down. That's one. Nacho, you've got here Quill Nut Seeker. Oh, I feel like there's something going on here. You're a rock gnome. And you are a bard rogue. Of course you are. It's rogue. Okay. So when you're doing your own adventure, this is the first task you will have. And the next one is prepare, cook, and survive. Oh god. Vilhelm. God, human. So you're Vilhelm, human, and what is this? You're a necromancer. Okay, 2 more and we're done. Derry, you've got here. From Matthew Mercer. Is that what that all is? I saw that and I was thinking, oh, maybe that's that. Yeah, I kind of got the impression it might be. All right. It's not a real word. There you go. Next. You can see the mighty halfling rogue. Okay. Match. What is that? I don't know what that is. Teague. Match Teague. The mighty. And you are a halfling ranger. Okay. Halfling ranger. Now you'll notice that this is, I can, if I asked for more information, the other things I'd suggested, it would be like a single word. Okay, this is just a reminder, people. Overboard, you have a mushroom wizard named Toad. Oh, good lord. What do you got here, Fred? Glarg, half-orc barbarian that wishes he was a bard but is tone deaf. Okay, so Fred has given me an example of, I've got a lot of information, but I have to be able to get it down in a sentence. So how do I do that? Okay, so thanks, Fred, for making that way longer than it needed to be, because now I can show people how I would write it up. Okay, ogre. They are a barbarian. And a tone deaf. I wish to be bard. There we go. So that is how you take a lot of the aspects of one of your player characters and condense it down to something that is a sentence. Okay, that gives you all the information you need. So really big, huge thank you to you, Fred, for doing that. That really helped a lot. Okay, so let's just separate some of this stuff. And I'll move these around. So next is we're going to have to develop an adventure hook. Okay, it needs to be an adventure hook that can be a location-based adventure, people. Okay. Hashtag. Yeah, we've got enough characters. 5 will do. Hashtag. What is a good, simple adventure goal for a location? This is the one that always is the hardest to deal with. And so I expect this to get a little bit more complicated as we go. The hat's coming off, people. It's getting too hot. My brain is going to overheat. Okay? So I want you to think about that. What are we trying to do with our adventure hook? I am happy for those of you who were really excited about talking about ghost towns. I'm happy for us to do a ghost town or a ghost mine or something like that. If you want to do something around ghosts, that's cool. To be, kill the demon lord. Okay, that's a good start. A group of ex-special forces who were wrongly convicted of a crime during the war managed to escape from the military police. They fled to the to Fandolin, whereas fugitives work as soldiers of fortune. Prepare, cook, and survive. The A team, but no. We'll take 2B's idea, okay, and we'll build on this. Let's do the kill. Kill the demon lord. Where's the demon lord, people? The demon lord is where? So killing the demon lord is all very well, but where is our demon lord? Because we need it to be a location-based adventure. So kill the demon lord, and who is the demon lord? That's your next question. So we often find ourselves in a little bit of a quagmire, as it takes a long time for that to sort of develop. So find the doohickey in the monster lair. So Derry, yes, finding a doohickey in our monster lair is always fun. Kill the demon lord. But kill a demon. Do we want it to be a demon lord? We do want it to be a demon lord. Okay. Earthquake opens up in a long forgotten tomb. Okay, so are we putting are we putting the demon lord in a tomb, or is the crack in the tomb what is allowing the demon lord to maybe come into the material world, and that's why we've got to kill the demon lord? Is that what's going on? Is guarding the well of knowledge. Okay, all right. The earth opens up. Okay, so the demon lord is guarding the well of knowledge. Okay. So kill the demon lord that guards the well of knowledge. Knowledge. I think there's the beginning. The demon lord lives in the Scarlet Devil mansion, which resides in the middle of a lake. Okay, you're trying to put it there. Okay. A village is attacked by were-rats on the harvest moon. The leader is the holder of a wanted poster of the characters. Okay. Damon Balthazar. Kill the demon lord. Called Damon Balthazar. That guards the well of knowledge. Okay, so we've already got an NPC that we can use. I will go copy that. We'll put that down in here. Remember, we needed to have a certain number of NPCs. Demon Lord. And we will just highlight and number this. So there's our first one in the pipe. Okay. Now I'm going to condense all your little ideas that are floating around all over the place. Villages attacked by were-rats that are the harvest moon. The leader is the holder of I want to post it. Oh, Nacho. I think I know why you put that forward, because you're running an adventure that's very similar to that idea. Gosh, were-rats have been done to death, have they not? Save the princess from the dark castle owned by the vampire. Right, yes. So somebody had mentioned in here something about special forces. I actually like the idea of your characters being special forces, but that's really up to them. Somebody had also mentioned something about a long forgotten tome and an earthquake. Okay, so why don't we have an earthquake opens up something, and it could be a long forgotten tomb. It's kind of, I guess tombs are one of the most common things in adventures that you get. Like, they come up all the time. Like, if there's anything, there's another tomb. But I'm not against the idea of it. So let's do this. Let's keep it simple. Question: is the demon only a lord because it's on the material plane? It may well be. You guys can figure that one out. Save the princess from the dark castle owned by the vampire. Well, yes. Do we want to use Do we want our location to be a tomb that opens up during an earthquake? Or do we want it to be something else? Like, do we want it to be a castle? I mean, that's the question. Location is the key at this point. Somebody's got here down a mansion. The Scarlet Devil Mansion. Antihistamines. Yeah, I know. Antihistamines. I already on antihistamines. It doesn't help. He's allergic to waters of the well of knowledge, and he can't drink. Okay. All right. So let's. You want a ghost town? In my opinion, tombs are overdone to death, and that's exactly. So, Derry, we'll make it a ghost town. Okay. A earthquake in a ghost town opens up a crack in the earth leading to a let's go with leading to a crack in a ghost town opens up an earthquake in a ghost town opens up a crack in the earth leading to a demonic temple. Let's do that. Ruled. What do we call it? Is it ruled? Ruled by a demon lord. Demon lord. Who drove the local townsfolk mad, crazy. How does that sound, people? Are we feeling a little bit better about this? This means we are using a town, and it will be a ghost town, and we will have a temple location as well. So demonic temple, ghost town, couple of locations within that, and we're on our way. A submerged castle. I like the idea. Maybe not today though. Let's go with not going. Yeah, milk the cow puzzle. You want to milk the cow, process livestock. Okay, so it's clear to me that people are all over the place now. So let's just go. An earthquake in a ghost town opens up a crack in the earth, leading to a demonic temple ruled by a demon who drove the local townsfolk crazy. Okay, the characters are. This is very Resident Evil. I feel like it's very Resident Evil. The characters are special forces. Where's our A team reference? Special forces. Special forces are part of a special forces unit. Dispatched, patched to what do you call it? Close the crack, close the breach in reality. Okay, how does that sound? Is that looking more like what we needed to have here? Not Resident Evil enough. Missing the body horror. I know. Okay, milking strawberry cows to get chocolate milk. Oh, good Lord. Okay. An earthquake. Okay, so an earthquake. So let's go. Yes, so we'll lead this into this. So there's two things that did this, right? Okay. So an earthquake opens up a crack in the earth, leading to a demonic temple ruled by a demon lord who drove the townsfolk crazy. Who drove? Okay. Earthquake opens up a crack in the earth to a demonic temple ruled by a demon drove the survivors of the earthquake okay, so this is not quite right. Local townsfolk cut and drove the surviving paste something local townsfolk of the earthquake crazy. Okay, so earthquake destroys town, breaks a crack in the earth, demon lord drives the rest crazy. Ghost town. Ta-da! The characters are part of special forces unit dispatched to close the breach in reality. Kill him, Lord, and okay, all right. So there we go. I think that's there's more than enough going on there. So we got two things, and it refuses to get on the flying eagle. Okay, all right. So we need a couple of locations. We need a ghost town. A name for ghost town is probably the one thing we need, and we need a couple of locations within the ghost town. And we probably need the demonic temple as well. If we need a name for the demonic temple would be good. Copy. Paste. So let's deal with our location stuff. Okay. Hashtag what location names and descriptions do we need? Okay, so we need a temple. No, I'll just do this. So we need a temple name. Hashtag need a temple name. We also need don't need that, let's try that again. Hashtag we need a town name. A town name. Okay. Ghost town name. Ghost town, we just need to have some names and then we'll be all right. Okay, so Catharites. Oh, good Lord. It's a bit of a name. Okay, so we'll try this. Catharisises. So ghost town, abandoned, logging town. Okay. Good. Nice. Temple of Thirsty Demon. Thirsty Demon. Town formerly known as Opal Digs. Okay. Potentially. I'll put that in here. Okay. Maybe we'll change it to that, but we'll see. All right. I don't know if Opal Digs. You have to tell me a bit more about Opal Digs. Okay, so let's give the temple of. So let's give this temple name. Thirsty Demon. Temple. Well of Knowledge. Okay. With well of knowledge. I am kind of wondering if it would be forbidden, the well of forbidden knowledge. Forbidden. Forbidden knowledge. There we go. Let's do this. Forbidden knowledge. I think that's going to be a bit more interesting. Let's go with a forbidden knowledge thing going on here. Okay. Vulture's Nest. Okay, we need some locations in the town. Okay. Hashtag. Name. Locations in town. In Ghost Town. That's what we need. A sacrifice. I don't see that many people have the willing to see through. As well of knowledge requires sacrifice to gain knowledge. Defeat. Murmurs well. Okay, so let's do this. Murmurs well. Okay. Well of no. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, I'm top of the hour already, eh? Copy. Murmurs well. That's just going to confuse things. Prepare, cook, and survive. I like the name, but it's just going to cause. Yeah, it's going to cause too much trouble. It's gone. Sorry. Bank of infinity deposits with and no withdrawals. I don't understand what we're doing there. Okay, thank you. 2B. We finally got something. Here we go. So Blasco's blacksmith. Blasco's blacksmith. This is one of our locations. Good. Port Minio with a temple. Nah, that's not going to work. You're off. You're off script. Joe, off script. You can put your money on the bank and never get it back. Oh, good Lord. All right, so some key places. Look, it's the same sort of thing as we did last time, like cemetery. 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 Church. Come on, people. Stay with it. Stay focused. What's another one? Tavern. They're not going to find it straight away. Do you know what I mean? They're going to have to find it. Eventually they'll find it, but we want a few places for them to go to. Tavern. What's another one? The hotel. Name of these things. Something we can do there. Bottom of the well tavern. Bottom of the well. Thank you. Bottom of the well Tavern. Okay. Good idea. Like it. So tavern. Good, good, good. Beauty supplies. Yeah, but what are you going to do with this? Earth. Crack in the earth. I'm going to just bang down a couple of different things here. Schoolhouse. Thank you. Jaquel, the scholar. Schoolhouse. There you go. So we got something. Schoolhouse. Let's do this. We still don't have... Oh, yes, we do. We do have a name for... Yeah. Okay, so we've got a few here. Mama Bedbigs. I don't know what that was. I'm typing something already. Yeah, I've moved on to the topic. Yeah, that would happen for sure. Okay, so this is where we have a bunch of different locations, which we haven't fully fleshed out, but we've got just under an hour to do the rest. I need to take a quick break and then come back. And I need to give you a task to make this work. Okay, we'll make this graveyard. So what we'll do is we will get you to come up with some things, encounters, things that need to be done. Okay, we'll get you to fill the encounters, and then we'll backfill our NPCs. I think that's what we'll do for today. That'll just move us a bit quicker. Saint Orpheus Cemetery. Thank you. That's great. Awesome. To be wonderful. So let's go here. Hashtag. I need a hashtag in here. Hashtag. What encounters do we use for the demonic temple? Ghost town. And is there anything else? Say, and crack in the earth. That'll keep you busy, I'm sure. Okay. Oryx last rest yard. Okay. Oryx last rest graveyard. We'll put down a couple of options here. Saint Orpheus Cemetery. Cemetery. Okay. Hotel Grey Hair's Rest. Grey Hair's Rest. Grey Hair's Rest, got it. So we've got a few there. Cool. All right, so I'm going to let you, Madam, I'm going to let you guys come up with some ideas for the encounters. I'm going to take a quick break, come back, and then we will fill them in and see which ones will work and do a little bit of culling. So 5 minutes or less, have a think of that. Come up with some ideas, and I'll be back. Okay, almost back. I see a few of you have thrown a few ideas out there. Remember, the best way to do this is to work backwards. What was the goal? And work backwards from there. Okay? Work backwards. That's a good idea. On the edge of the crack, they seem extra friendly, offering food and drink and entertainment. I don't think we'd have gypsies on the edge of a crack in the earth. I think that's... I'm probably not going to take that one, Joe. Okay. So... crack in the earth has a tide of zombies being released from the no, it has a tide of zombies. Created by the chanting of Demon Lord. I think that's one thing. A couple of things we need to deal with, and that is you're going to have to fight the Demon Lord with its true name. So demons and devils have true have like a true name. Find the fight the Demon Lord with its true name, so that it can be harmed. Be vanquished. Okay, so that would be near the end. Learn the true name of the Demon Lord from now. This is now somebody had mentioned a name. Learn the true name. The true name of the Demon Lord from... Now, somebody had mentioned a well and a name there, and I thought that was actually perfect in this situation. Vulture's Nest, no. Do we have Vulture's Nest already? Vulture's Nest. Vulture's Nest. Somebody had said something about, is it Miramas? I've got to find it now. Scrolling back here, this is hard. I can't see it. That's milk and cows. Yeah, here we go. Prepare, cook and survive. Your idea here. You got a name here. So learn the true name of the Demon Lord from Miramur. The what is Miramur going to be? The something that would be here. Knowledge. The lost soul, I guess, that lives in the well of forbidden knowledge. Does that sound about right? I think that's, we've got a couple of pieces in place now. Wild magic zone of rug is smouldering from last night's live stream. Wait, turn the house into a asylum. Yes, the well, yeah, the well of forbidden knowledge can reveal the true name. That's exactly what we're doing here. My crack has gypsies laughing at it. Yes, they dug wonderful travellers. Dear. They met a novice necromancer called Lizzie with a skeleton dog at the graveyard. She is pretty intelligent and likes reading old books, possibly info on Demon Lord. Okay, now we're talking. I can do something with that. Okay. Let's grab this here. I might just port it straight over from the chat. Yeah, we'll do that right here. Okay, negotiate. With a novice necromancer called Lizzie with a skeleton dog at the graveyard at Yep, that's fine. That works. So we've got the graveyard built in. Well done. Nicely done. So we now need to have an additional NPC, and Lizzie is copy, and we'll drop it here. Lizzie is necromancer. Has skeleton dog. Negotiate with a novice necromancer called Lizzie for information on the town and Demon Lord. I think that's all right. We want to go here. At the graveyard, intelligent, likes reading books. Copy. Yeah. We've got to be careful we don't repeat ourselves too much, so. Owns. Okay. There we go. Cool. Not bad. We're doing all right so far. Could be. We won't go into too much detail. So let's keep going with. There are some obstacles we need to put in their way in the village. Okay. There are some obstacles we need to put in their way And Lizzie's actually one of them. I'm not going to put it there though. It's probably going to be first. It'll be one of the first things that happens, more than likely. Okay, what have we got here? Chapel of the Forlorn Logger is fortified, intact. One of the last insane folks holed up in the top floor with a bunch of crossbows and arrows. Sap the lumber. Yeah, I don't think it's not really a ghost town if there's somebody still alive. Do you know what I mean? You really can't have a ghost town if there's somebody still alive in it. It's no longer a ghost town, really. For a role-playing game, it just isn't anymore. So yeah, let's try something else. Lizzie, we've got that one. We've got the Demon Lord there. Now this character. Murmur, copy, paste. So crazy miner, like F. Harbour said, not harmful but gets in the way and causes distractions. Okay. So crazy miner. All right. Where are we going to stick the crazy miner? That's the thing. Crazy miner. I don't know what else to do with this. Well, it's a ghost town, people. Think of things that are undead or that would not be living, that would reside, and that would sort of stay around a location where you have like a demonic lord. That's the task here. That's really what you're trying to do. Do you know what I mean? The idea is you stick with that sort of way of thinking. You guys are going in a lot of other directions, which is actually will make it impossible to get it done. So you gotta stick with the basic premise. If you go too far off that, it becomes really, really difficult. And this is obviously one of the risks of writing your own adventures. You wind up with all this extra complexity that didn't need to be there. You know what I mean? Okay, make Sappy a ghoul. That's right. There you go. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Now who's Sappy? Okay. He's a ghoul. Right. Okay, Sappy. Sappy is crazy. Ghoul miner. Good. Doesn't know he is dead. That's very well done. Nicely done. I am impressed. Now we can actually take that. Now where did Fred mention this crazy miner? There it is. There it is. I see it now. That's actually not too bad. Cool. Let's do this. Fred, where are you? Put money in the bank. I am so okay. Fred. Where are you? There we go. That's what I want. Let's take this. And we'll put it here. So a nutty old ghoul. Now, and we want to put them in a particular place, complaining about his missing mule. Let's place them in one of our existing locations. And the grey hairs rest. Let's put them in the hotel. No, let's put them in the tavern. That's where the miner would be. Bottom of the Well Tavern. In town and in the bottom of the Well Tavern is complaining about his missing mule. Not bad. That's pretty good. So we've got our tavern built in. We've got our graveyard built in now. Now we're on a roll here. This is better. Because he ate it. He probably did. He probably did. I'll leave that to you guys to sort out though. Okay. Miner is a revenant who is appeased by giving him a mule. Oh, I see what you're going to do. I see. So you want to change it from a ghoul to a revenant. Well, that's actually not bad, actually. Yeah, okay. An old revenant. Revenant, mine in the bottom world is coming about his missing mule. So, replacing the mule appeases Sappy. Okay. Okay, that's right. We can do that, and we'll make him so Sappy is now a revenant. Revenant. Okay, that's good. Sweet. Well done. Nicely done. Fred, I am impressed. Derry, we're on the right track now. That's much better. But Sappy doesn't know he's a ghoul, like the DM Roundtable. Ah, I see. Yes. I think the Revenant's a good idea because a ghoul is harder to control. But a Revenant, it's a little bit different. You can have a conversation with a Revenant. A ghoul might be a little bit more difficult, although there are, I mean, if we just stick to D&D, ghouls don't work that way. But if we go with the actual mythology of the ghoul, it could. And since the Revenant is appeased on receiving the mule when he vanishes. Okay, all right. So, okay, we're doing all right. So that's actually 5 different locations. We need 6 more encounters. We wanted to have 6 encounters. We probably need to have Murmur the Lost Soul. I haven't done a lot with Murmur the Lost Soul, but we're doing actually very well right now. I think we've got enough at this present time to consider giving the whole thing a name. I still want to have some sort of encounter in town. We've used the hotel. No, we haven't used the hotel. We've used the tavern. We've used the cemetery. And what else have we used? We used the crack. Yes, we used the tavern, the graveyard, the crack, the well itself, and in the temple with its true name. Okay, so in the thirsty demon temple with its true name, so it can be vanquished. So we've got that there. We need one more thing out of the things we've got. We've got a blacksmith, we have a hotel, and we have a schoolhouse, and we have names for the hotel, and we have a name for the blacksmith. Don't have a name for the schoolhouse, but then of course it could be just named after the actual town itself. Okay, did you do the lamprey chamber on the way down, crack into the demon? No, so let's not worry about doing too much. We don't have to have the journey down being the main feature. What we can do is we can use just portions. So the crack is part of the town. The well is in the temple, and the temple itself is a location. That's kind of like the same location, really. So let's try to deal with the ghost town itself. Let's work with the ghost town in terms of what we can do there. To be, Buzzer is willing to make an anti if you give him the materials. Okay, so we're going to have a character called named after the blacksmith. What do we want to make? What is he going to be though? That's the question. Blasco. Blasco is an NPC, but what sort of NPC we're dealing with? So this is a ghost. Of a trapped something. Trapped. Yeah, something. Maybe we can make Blasco a something else. Desecrated altar and chapel. You want a desecrated altar and a chapel. So we had church, chapel. Maybe automation, blacksmith, like Warforged. Because the Warforged wouldn't have been affected. I like that idea to be. It's not a bad idea. Okay. Construct. What does the construct look like? That's the question. You want a mummy blacksmith. So he can swing it. A blacksmith near fire? Really? Construct? What sort of construct? Blacksmith. To be... Alright, there we go. I actually like that idea quite a bit. So we're going to put that as an encounter. That definitely drives things quite nicely. Well done. Okay, Blasco, blacksmith. Is willing to make an anti-demon. Why not? Let's do that. If you give him the materials. Okay. Yes. Nice. That works. I'm for that. That gives us 6 encounters. We've used not every single location here, but we've used a lot of them. Yeah, church, chapel is just a different name, I know. Make the construct look like C3PO. You want to make it a golden mech. A helper who arms the party. Okay, so that's not okay. So let's see what we're doing with this. Gold coloured. Construct blacksmith. Helper basically is to help move things along, and we've done that. We have essentially probably more than enough NPCs to deal with this. We could create somebody who's part of their special forces who sends them there. So we could have our patron or quest giver. So who is the quest giver? Yeah, that's probably a question we haven't answered. Other than that, we have all the elements that we needed for our NPCs. There we go. I think we've got that down. C3PO. You guys like the idea of C3PO. We've done it. Yes, we've been very, very busy. We just need a quest giver. We need a name and sort of a little bit about them. We've got enough encounters, really, to get the job done, in my opinion. Get them information, give them something to work with, and a few places to go. It's not all just fights, which is nice, because remember, we're not trying to avoid doing just fights after fight. What we need to do is we need to name this thing. Ah, there we go. Christina Greenfield. There we go. We got somebody. Hang on. Let's just hashtag name this demon slaying ghost town adventure. Right. Okay, I've got plenty to sort of pour it into there. You've done a really good job of filling it out and getting what we needed, which is great. It's awesome. And at a fairly quick space of time. Christina Greenfield, Commander of Special Forces. Whatever that Special Forces organisation is up to you guys. If somebody comes up with a name, I'll put it down. Okay? Perhaps your zombie horde can be yellow musk zombies, as they fit the bill. Yellow musk zombies. Yes, we can do that. Absolutely. Has a horde of yellow musk zombies created by the chanting of the demon lord. There we go. So that's in. I've done it. D4QPP. Oh, good lord. Really? No. Blazco is fine. Blazco's fine. Blazco I can deal with. What else have we got here? Mission Impossible type quest giver, like magic scroll that self-destructs after reading it. Okay, all right. So, Nacho, fair enough. We can add that to our little encounters. It'll be at the very beginning, obviously. I'm not against the idea. I like presenting Dungeons and Dragons like you are James Bond, Ethan Hawke, or a spy, or a super spy, or a super agent. I actually like that, or even not a super spy, but just a spy. There's a lot to be said for doing something like that. So here we go. Let's do this. Let's go here. A magic scroll recording Christina Greenfield's mission goal that self-destructs after you read it. There you go. Why not? It's a little new, it's a little old. Blacksmith is powered by heat or of the ever-burning forge. Can't go more than 50 feet from it. Okay. So powered by ever-burning forge. Helper. That'll do. Okay. They should come across a demon that used to be the pastor of the church Samuel. Big Trouble in Little Colchis. All right. Okay. So let's get some designations down. I'm just going to mark down here, Samuel. Pastor. Pastor of church. And we'll make him a ghoul. Ghoul in disguise. Disguise. There we go. And then the pastor of the church. I don't know what the name of the church is. I think we had a name for a church at some point, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to put up To Be's adventure name. It has got some Big Trouble in Little China ideas going on. Catharis. Okay, right. The Abyssal Catharis. Catharis. Okay, good. Special forces called the Canaries. Okay, all right. Let's make that work. There we go. NPCs. Canaries. Special forces unit. Okay. Unit members. Okay. That's got that down. Nice. Called the Parasol. Canaries Parasol. Is this Parasol as in umbrella? As in Resident Evil? I always thought the name Umbrella in Resident Evil was quite funny because what it refers to is an umbrella corporation which gets up to it's a real term, right? An umbrella corporation is sort of used to hide devious nonsense. So the name is literally taking the piss out of something that actually exists in the world. Okay, Parasol, Canaries, Parasol. I'll put the two names there. Dog has to go. Wait, 20 minutes. Sorry, no problems. Thank you, Derry, for your input today. It's been very good. We've got some great ideas here. I'm going to get this name horribly messed up. CBAP. Hi, Nick. How are you doing? I recognize the image. I'm struggling. You ready for more content? I'm struggling with the name. Scroll of Magic Mouth. The scroll burns as the mouth speaks. Okay, so I'll add in the word Magic Mouth, so we've got that there. A scroll. Magic scroll of. A scroll of Magic Mouth. Recording. That self-destructs. Okay, I think we're doing pretty well, people. We've really got it, most of this nailed down. Smells of elderberries. Your mother smells of elderberries? Sure. Your mother smells of elderberries. I don't know. Smells, not spells. Smells. Elderberries. Okay. Elderberries, something like that. Okay, good. Name is You Hamster. Oh, good lord. Needs the Pork Chop Express. You want to put the pork... We're not going to call it the Pork Chop Express. I think Canaries and Parasol is good enough. It's all in the reflex. Yes, no, I noticed. Nick, Chris. Jeez. Yes. Kebop. Kebop. Oh, good lord. What a name. Okay, so we have 7 things. We've got plenty going on, plenty of ways to get them where we need them to go. It's not overly complicated, so it's not that difficult for you to run. You won't get drowned out. It's not like you would struggle with any of this. So I actually think it's doing a reasonable job at this present time. Now, is there anything else I need to do to add to this? I don't think there is. I think frankly that the first name offered was really good. Big Trouble in Little Cathris. It's not too bad. It's actually pretty good. We've got our adventure hook, goal or recap, which is basically an adventure hook or goal, and it's nice and simple. We've got our characters, we've got locations, and we've got some NPCs, and some interesting ones. List of encounters, what we're going to do, and we're kind of done, and we don't need to run all of it, which is great. Oh dear. Okay, Chris, I got it. Anyway, why did you call yourself that? Why would you do that to yourself? In any case, I think we can put a wrap on this. What I want to do is I want to have a look at this poll and see how people are doing. So how long does it take for you to make your own adventure for one session? So 17% said 30 minutes or less. More than 30 minutes is 17%. Okay, and then more than 1 hour, 61%. So in about an hour and a half, or just under an hour and a half, we have made what I would say is the basic skeleton of your adventure. Okay? I know for a lot of people that might not feel like that's enough work. I don't make adventures 6%. Okay, well, hopefully those 6% will have a go at this. This is 18 votes. I'm going to end that poll. Family nickname. Oh dear. Okay. I don't think that's endearing at all. Anyway, I think we've come to the end of today. I have to get going. So tomorrow I'm covering the harpy. For those of you who are wondering what I'm doing with the harpy, you won't be getting exclusively the harpy from D&D. It's not just a retelling of the harpy from D&D. Okay, what I will do tomorrow, I'll try to make sure this adventure goes up in its complete form on Patreon at the end of the week. For those of you on Patreon who want to use it, or any aspects of it, I'll make sure it can be edited easily. So yeah, I'm taking all of the mythology of harpies and putting it into sort of one, hopefully focused idea. So it's not necessarily what you might expect. That's all I can say in terms of the harpy for tomorrow. Yeah? But anyway, we are done. I have to get moving. So I want to say a big, huge thank you to all of my patrons who support me on Patreon. I do appreciate it. It does make a huge difference that you do support me. I want to thank World Anvil for supporting and sponsoring this live stream. You'll find all the information you need on World Anvil down in the description. So you know the story. We have made an adventure, the basic bones of adventure. We've got enough to get it done as far as I'm concerned. You might need a few maps, but that can be done reasonably quickly too. In any case, I want to say wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, okay, a big thank you to all of you. And look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours if you have some. But if they're zombies, shoot them in the head, okay? Your neighbours, when they're zombies, you shoot them in the head, okay? And then, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.